Hi, my friends, my family, my fans, and my pals. What is going on today? It is cold and snowy here in my hometown. I hope you all are getting ready for the holidays and spending time with the family. I am Andy, and I have autism and intellectual disability. Today, I'm going to talk to those who do not like me or agree with my doctors. I get a lot of hate. I'm going to put this out there. There's a reason for everything. There's a reason why I pee and poop myself. There's a reason why I have a hard time coping and behaving. There's a reason why I have skin rashes and body odor. There's reason why I have problems following instructions and being able to take care of the very simple and basic tasks such as eating and drinking and taking a shower. There's a reason I could not graduate from high school. There's a reason why I went to a special school and had special classes. There's a reason why I had problems labeling and identifying my emotions. There's a reason why I had problems with communicating my thoughts and needs. My diagnosis is not the question and is not up for debate anymore. Not when my haters have the struggles I deal with every day. You have no clue what looking at a Christmas tree is like and always has been in my eyes. You have no clue what a loud sound feels to my ears. You have no clue what it feels like to me to wear clothes. You have no clue how I am able to process what the words of others sound like to me and how I am able to understand something or not. You have no clue how I hear or understand what I hear. You have no clue how exhausting it is to wake up, to remember what I need to do each day, to know the step-by-step instructions to do a task, and to know what to do with problem-solving a social situation. You have no clue the way I feel to wipe my own ass and what effort it takes to know how to make the movement needed to wipe. You have no clue the mental brain power that it takes every day to do the things you take for granted that is so simple to you to do. I see my roommate being able to go outside by himself, cross the street himself, and able to cope with life challenges I cannot do yet. I see him struggling in life. I also know he is able to do things I cannot do. I saw an 83-year-old man who walked with a cane, who had like 20 words to speak, and needed help with walking and balance to shower. I saw him able to cross the street and socialize in his own ways. I saw him how he cooked for himself and how he cooked meals for everyone in my home. How he always made sure I had a plate even if I already had my meal. To still have a disability in his life. To come to me to ask for help with his TV as I understood him. I understood how to communicate with him. To be liked by me. To hear me say people can ask me, do you want chicken or a hamburger? And I can tell you. My roommate needs you to show him two choices, and he can point to what he wants. That was me back in the day, and still is at times. If you think I hate people and a problem for anyone, you had no clue what you're talking about. I gave you examples of me and my roommates who all have different disabilities, but all are different. My roommate who died had a stroke and mental issues. My other roommate has mental issues and medical issues. I have developmental issues and medical issues. It don't matter how you slice the dice. What one person with autism could do, another person with autism can't do, and another person with autism can do, but only with help of others. That is true for any disability. What you all are doing is trying to put me into one box. Let's take intellectual disability for an example. You see the criteria for intellectual disability here. Intellectual Developmental Disorder DSM-5-TR criteria. Intellectual developmental disorder. Intellectual disability is a disorder with onset during the developmental period that includes both intellectual and adaptive functioning deficits in conceptual, social, and practical domains. The following three criteria must be met. Deficits in intellectual functions, such as reasoning, problem-solving, planning, abstract thinking, judgment, academic learning, and learning from experience, confirmed by both clinical assessment and individualized, standardized intelligence testing. B. Deficits in adaptive functioning that result in failure to meet developmental and sociocultural standards for personal independence and social responsibility. Without ongoing support, the adaptive deficits limit functioning in one or more activities of daily life, such as communication, social participation, and independent living, across multiple environments, such as home, school, work, and community. C. Onset of intellectual and adaptive deficits during the developmental period. What you also see are examples of what intellectual disability could look like for a doctor to diagnose someone. Severity level mild, conceptual domain for preschool children, there may be no obvious conceptual differences. For school-age children and adults, there are difficulties in learning academic skills involving reading, writing, arithmetic, time, or money, with support needed in one or more areas to meet age-related expectations. In adults, abstract thinking, executive function, i.e., planning, strategizing, priority setting, and cognitive flexibility, and short-term memory, as well as functional use of academic skills, e.g., reading, money management, are impaired. There is a concrete approach to problems and solutions compared with age mates. Social domain compared with typically developing age mates. The individual is immature in social interactions. For example, there may be difficulty in accurately perceiving peers' social cues. Communication, conversation, and language are more concrete or immature than expected for age. There may be difficulties regulating emotion and behavior in age-appropriate fashion. These difficulties are noticed by peers in social situations. There is limited understanding of risk in social situations. Social judgment is immature for age, and the person is at risk of being manipulated by others' gullibility. Practical domain, the individual may function age appropriately in personal care. Individuals need some support with complex daily living tasks in comparison to peers. In adulthood, supports typically involve grocery shopping, transportation, home and childcare organizing, nutritious food preparation, and banking and money management. Recreational skills resemble those of age mates, although judgment related to well-being and organization around recreation requires support. In adulthood, competitive employment is often seen in jobs that do not emphasize conceptual skills. Individuals need support to make healthcare decisions and legal decisions, and to learn to perform a skilled vocation competently. Support is typically needed to raise a family. Severity level moderate, conceptual domain, all through development. The individual's conceptual skills lag markedly behind those of peers. For preschoolers, language and pre-academic skills develop slowly. For school-age children, progress in reading, writing, mathematics, and understanding of time and money occurs slowly across the school years and is markedly limited compared with that of peers. For adults, academic skill development is typically at an elementary level, and support is required for all use of academic skills in work and personal life. Ongoing assistance daily is needed to complete conceptual tasks of day-to-day life, and others may take over these responsibilities fully for the individual. Social domain, the individual shows marked differences from peers in social and communicative behavior across development. Spoken language is typically a primary tool for social communication, but is much less complex than that of peers. Capacity for relationships is evident in ties to family and friends, and the individual may have successful friendships across life, and sometimes romantic relations in adulthood. However, individuals may not perceive or interpret social cues accurately. Social judgment and decision-making abilities are limited, and caretakers must assist the person with life decisions. Friendships with typically developing peers are often affected by communication or social limitations. Significant social and communicative support is needed in work settings for success. Practical domain, the individual can care for personal needs involving eating, dressing, elimination, and hygiene as an adult, although an extended period of teaching and time is needed for the individual to become independent in these areas, and reminders may be needed. Similarly, participation in all household tasks can be achieved by adulthood, although an extended period of teaching is needed, and ongoing supports will typically occur for adult-level performance. Independent employment in jobs that require limited conceptual and communication skills can be achieved, but considerable support from coworkers, supervisors, and others is needed to manage social expectations, job complexities, and ancillary responsibilities such as scheduling, transportation, health benefits, and money management. A variety of recreational skills can be developed. These typically require additional supports and learning opportunities over an extended period of time. Maladaptive behavior is present in a significant minority and causes social problems. You all know the old stereotype of intellectual disability required IQ less than 70 back when it was called mental retardation. But you also see the new criteria. That is the fact you all do not see. Let me explain more. My adaptive behavior test, I scored a 52. That test shows I would have severe to profound intellectual disability. That can't be explained by my IQ score of 88. How is that possible? You have to take the test scores apart to find how. My working memory, processing speed, short-term memory, symbolic, and other parts of my IQ scores are impaired. The long-term memory score are extremely high for the rest of my IQ. Add autism to the mix. Autism has been studied to have scripting. Scripting requires some kind of long-term memory ability, and it can also be used to help with the deficits in processing speed, working memory, and short-term memory. That should the answer. You add that and the step-by-step instructions for how to set up my shower and how to take a shower chair, a detachable shower head, and the other things I use to help me shower. I should not need help with taking a shower. I even feel this way too. Why do I have body odor or rashes or fungal issues on my toes? The shower chair is to help me with balance so I can wash my feet. My social story has the step of wash my feet. I wash my feet every time I shower. I often take 2 showers a day when I poop my diaper, as it is the only way I can get most of the poop off my skin. So what is the problem? Then look at the fine motor skill challenges. At Strong Memorial Hospital, who didn't know me and did their own evaluations of me to find out what was causing that problem. Why did a hospital in Rochester who did not know me see that when the hundreds of hospital stays in 5 different hospitals in Buffalo didn't see this? Because no hospital in Buffalo evaluated me for this. When I was placed at Millard Fillmore Hospital in November 2020 for MRSA and sepsis, due to my skin sensitivity to some diapers that went ignored and not have the help with medication management and hygiene and toileting needs, I was better after the 4 antibiotic. Then put back on the pill. Why did that infection get worse? They did not treat the fungal infection with the bacteria infection. The diabetes, fungal infection, inflammatory skin disease, and the bacterial infection all was not treated at once. Malpractice due to the false assumption that I can shower and take care of myself, and did this all on purpose. Remember the call August 3rd, 2020 conversation with State Police about APS, and State Police has me call APS 046 Andy. You're going to explain to me for why my dad is still denying me food. 10 for I play a video of proof that dad wasn't bringing me food. 135 Andy. So you're going to tell me that my dad yesterday can still deny me food, right? He's providing me food and willing to provide me food to crisis services. Isn't that what you said? APS great. 150 to 207 my rant of, I'm not denying help. Look at all of my records. You say I don't have a confirmed diagnosis, so how can I be refusing help? 207 Andy, you deny me the right to have for help in getting food and medications physical needs met. You actively committing physical neglect, sir. Full recording https://www.youtube.com/watch?v=y4rdhe2xmw. August 3rd, 2020 conversation with State Police about APS, and State Police has me call APS. APS, Adult Protection, this is Dinese. NYS Trooper. HI Dinese, this is Trooper Haben from New York State Police. Trooper, I am with Andrew Ditch, just looking for outside guidance. APS, I am brand new to the case. It's his MO, he does this kind of stuff. No one is neglecting him. It just goes by the day how he feels about us. APS, if you spend exorbitant amount of time talking to him, he is just going to keep bothering you. So, you just may want to send him on his way and tell him you talk to us. NYS Police. He just showed US pictures of his room with feces and urine everywhere. He can't take care of himself. Is this something being worked on? APS. Yeah, he is under the impression he qualifies for a group home. He does not, because his behaviors are purposeful. He's just a mess. It's a way to call me fake. I want attention and sympathy and more. I want my way, and I don't like what people are saying. This is a way to silence me and to have someone else ignore me and my concerns. That is exactly why DSS and APS staff turn white and uncomfortable for the recordings. When I go to a hospital, they call APS for help with safety and a discharge plan. When I lived in Buffalo, New York, they had to deal with APS in Buffalo, who all had it out for me due to my recording their wrongdoing and posting on social media. We have to take a look back at APS in May 20th, 2019 at Dunkin' Donuts, where they told me I don't have autism according to all of the forensic experts when I was arrested in March 2019. When I got my forensic records and ECMC hospital records to show with that recording of APS in July 2019, it pissed off DSS Buffalo, as they had to answer to that. Add to the fact APS was my rep payee, and they misused my funds after taking it away from me. However, at this meeting in 2019, APS told me that I wasted $600 in fast food, and that was not true. I spent $600 to turn on my cell phone after being in jail and to find out my family did not pay their share of their uses of being on my cell phone bill. That is a fact. That is why I owed $900 for it. My mom was on my back account, so she could have wrote the check and helped me budget like I let her do, as I know I can't make decisions for myself. APS lied about it all. They also refused to pay for my medication copays, like the antibiotic and food and diapers. They blamed ECMC for not setting up Meals on Wheels. They blamed other caseworkers for not helping me, like Merritt Parker and Dawn. When I brought up Jessica Ryan and the testing OPWDD wanted still, they got mad. In APS in 2019, says this 014 Michelle Lysar, APS. This are my supervisor Francine and Missy here. Let me show you the transcript of that conversation. Me. I don't like being lied to about one thing you tell me, Michelle. Then other people tell me that I have services in place and not one of them have come out and see me. Michelle, what have I lied about? Me, you haven't lied to me, but... Dawn, a caseworker of mine from Catholic Health Homes, told me earlier today that you told her to have Food Knows and another agency that is coming out Meals and Wheels. Michelle, okay. Food Knows I did place a referral for Food Knows, but they deliver one Sunday per month. The Meals on Wheels, that is a miscommunication with ECMC, because all they asked me, blame it on some else. When I get your money, which I don't have yet, if I be able to pay for Meals on Wheels. Missy, you are sitting here a laptop, a tablet, and a cell phone. I'll be willing to bet, if you pull up the search history on your phone, there's all kinds of things. You are able to maneuver Uber. I can't even maneuver Uber. The kid coughing in background mom works at People Inc. said, after they left, that she was going to pill hair, because computers are autistic people gift. Missy, you do not need 24-hour care. When VNA comes to your house, you start telling them things, they're going to go by what you tell them. They didn't talk to your nurses and doctors who saw you and evaluated you at the hospital. Those are the professionals that we are going to listen to. APS never saw what I can and can't do like VNA. It's where I learned why alarms don't work and what works for me with my routine. They don't go by what they hear, but what they see when evaluating me. No APS worker ever been inside the hotel rooms of mine ever. Just like no one's seen my parents' house. DSS Housing, who is in the same building as APS, kept sending me to hospital after hospital. 80 ER visits in 4 months in 2019. If I can take care of myself, then your county workers in different department don't feel that I can. Me, so my primary doctor has no say. See the connection, I am told. APS only listened to ECMC. They didn't do a good job doing that because ECMC said I have autism. I am told DSS went to Dr. Cummings in February 2020 to review my records and got paid for it by the contract. See the connection, my lawyer said. That adds reason to assume, with fact, that backup DSS paid Dr. Cummings big money, who sits on the board of directors to ECMC and APIC, so APS gets away what they done to me. ECMC and APIC, both who I had history that is not good. DSS paid Dr. Cummings at ECMC to fix my diagnosis, so I can't get help for my autism diagnosis ECMC and forensics used. This is quid quo pro, I am told, because all three agencies have endangered and neglect me. Missy, and we had your most recent evaluations, the evaluation that Michelle received. Michelle at the holding center. Missy, those are forensic experts. I got the same records that say I have autism. Forensic evaluation is not the same thing as medical or mental health treatment. Why did forensics set me up with Autism Center at Children's Hospital that APS refused? Why did forensics start the OPWDD front door application? Because no one knew about it. I need to upload this conversation again. I not only got my records to show ECMC and forensic said I have autism, and they told me this. They did not tell me I had intellectual disability too, and I don't go around telling people I have intellectual disability like I do autism. ECMC and forensics said I have ASD. I have given you that earlier with my complaint and medical records. That is why they turned against me to lie about me to every doctor and professional. So when I was admitted to Millard Fillmore Suburban in November 2019 to be connected to OPWDD, they had APS in Niagara County, who Social Security Administration appointed as payee due to 10 different medical professionals, and 2 police departments made the report that APS in Buffalo was misusing my funds. That has 2 different counties against each other. Like it got Best Self, ECMC, the county hospital, OPWDD, 211, Crisis Services, and Person Center Services against Erie County and Buffalo. Because of Niagara County APS and WNY Independent Living Center involvement, got Millard Fillmore Hospital to evaluate my ability to wash myself and fit my diaper and wipe. That was the first time ECMC or Kalita Health had ever evaluate my ability to do this. I assumed that got APS in Buffalo and OPWDD in Buffalo mad, as they wanted to assume I was able to manage my hygiene. Then in 2002, age 17, my school reports would not have said, he will often instigate his peers almost to a point of verbal and/or physical retaliation. Mr. Velazza reports that Andrew struggles with proper hygiene. This writer has witnessed Andrew coming to school not well-groomed and with dirty clothes on. The same reports would not talk about my visual motor skills, my handwriting and ability to copy notes and manipulate a pencil. The hospital reports from WNY CPC in the same year would not have talked about needing diapers, had hygiene issues, rashes, and stool and undergarment. I would not have been diagnosed as developmentally dependent and problems with self-care at a basic level by the doctors at WNY CPC Hospital. So how can I go from not being able to do these simple tasks at age 17 and still be reported a problem at age 19? How can I work at age 18 and 19 and still have the same struggles? Not much of wording of the severity of the personal hygiene issues. My mom and others had helped me shower and change my diapers more. That is all ignored as a problem. You can go far back as 1992 or age 7 with the same problems. I have already made a video of that. See link in the description. The problem is I have not turned on or off my autism or the severity of my disability. I have always had these issues. I can speak when I had help from Royal. I did not have behavior or any issues. When they took that help away from me, I had issues. When Comfort Care had 2 caregivers for 168 hours, one worker was doing all of the work and had to work 24 hours each for 4 days at a time. No family time, no breaks. That left him in burnout and upset with the boss for allowing the other worker to call off. Devin promised me he can handle my level of care needs. It proves caregivers need breaks. How can my parents do that for all of my 40 years? You wonder how parents are able to handle the stress of severely developmental disabled children 24/7, 365 days a year. When I had their help few days, then it stopped. It made it hard for me to behave and cope with change. When they put new staff in my care who helped me with my detailed routine and structured care I need, it helped me so much. I saw how it was helping me wash dishes, take out the garbage, wash the tables, and had zero anxiety and depression. I also saw how I had parental controls, and then that stopped just before visiting my dad and brother for a full week. See my point here? When I had lost that help, behaviors, loss of skills, and more health issues. When I had the structure and consistent support, I was able to do things. That is the turn on and off switch you all are talking about. How I lost the ability to speak at points when I went from my parents' house to the streets with nothing. That is how autistic burnout can happen. That is not depression or lazy or defiance. That is a true need for someone to do things for me to help support my independence. Add to years of lack of help and supports. Being told what I need and what the issues for why I can't shower, cook, care for myself, and what I needed help with in AAC and other adaptive tools to support independence that I can repeat inside and out. The lawyers who got involved in helping me. Medicare insurance and other professionals for helping me with what to ask for a hospital. That all led to me reading laws and my rights to the arrest and the healthcare system. With my autism and ability to recite and repeat this information is why I sound so smart. It is not intelligence. It is handouts. It is a life that is so hard for me to live with and to do the simple things you expect me to be automatic. Because of my behaviors, you all ignore the intellectual developmental disability, autism that is severe with high support needs, my moderate expressive and receptive language disability, my severe auditory and visual processing disability, and more. So you will use this ability of my autism that is normally seen as a gift for someone with severe cognitive disability and use it to deny me help out of your opinions of how bad I am. You may not agree or like me. You now know the struggles and stress this has caused me that led to the behavior issues I have. It is that easy to support me and prevent the behavior issues. When you don't like a person, or it becomes too much work to help a disabled person, you ignore them and make excuses for why you didn't do what was needed to care for the person's needs. You see that problem I still have with some people to this day. What you saw is the behavior problem, the cops being called, the hit head, the aggressive outburst, that kind of thing. You did not see the root cause of the issues that caused these behavior issues. That is my point. I am not expecting you haters to be doctors or mental health experts here, but this all kind of ties into one thing. My parents play roles in all of this that made the problems I am in every day. For refusing to accept my diagnosis and not telling the truth and never was consistent to what I need and what my symptoms was. They blamed Michael, my older brother, for sexual abuse. When Michael babysit me and was no longer a problem for them, they blamed me, instead of helping me with either getting services as a child so I could function at home and in school like any normal parents would do. They want a normal smart child who I could never be. This video ties in place with my idea and education rights. My other videos of me not faking and I am right here in front of you and others that support my disability. I hope if you watch this video, you can use this video to be aware of disabilities and the uniqueness of how one person with any one disability can do something, but another of the same disability cannot do that same thing. Just like not everyone can play guitar and be a rock star legend or a superstar athlete. If you found this video helpful, please like the video. If you like my content on bringing awareness to disabled people and help with inclusion and not exclusion, then please subscribe to my channel. That is all. Have a wonderful day,